good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for the 2020 North of Boston Convention and Visitors Bureau annual meeting. My name is Anne Marie Casey, and I am proud to serve as your executive director. I wish that we could be together tonight, but in the interests of health and safety, the CVB board has made the responsible decision to go virtual. I'd like to begin by thanking our sponsors for making the event possible. Thank you to our state partner, the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism, and thank you to our title sponsor, Mike Sperling and his team at Sperling Interactive. I would also like to thank my team at the CVB for their hard work and commitment to the CVB and our members, especially during this past year. Our administrative team, Rebecca, Holly, Julie, and Carol, have accomplished so much while working both remotely and on-site these past months. And I'm so grateful for their efforts. I would also like to acknowledge and thank all of the CVB's information specialists. These men and women work every day on our front lines at the Maria Miles Visitor Center, and it hasn't been easy. New safety protocols, combined with world tensions, can sometimes result in difficult interactions, but our information specialists are doing a terrific job using their de-escalating skills and keeping people safe. Our agenda tonight includes a local cocktail segment sponsored by the Landing Restaurant in Marblehead and Ryan and Wood Distilleries in Gloucester. We will also hear from CVB leadership about our recent efforts and initiatives we have planned moving forward. We will induct the 2020-21 Board of Directors and conclude our program with a special recognition segment highlighting some very special people that we all know and love. Stating the obvious, 2020 has been a year like no other. And on behalf of the Board of Directors and staff at the North of Boston CVB, we thank all of our members, state and municipal leaders, and tourism colleagues around the state and New England for being partners with us. Together, we will work through this, and our premier travel destinations will thrive again in a healthy world where we can welcome all travel segments from all areas of the world. For now, we will continue to do the best we can, supporting each other and making responsible decisions that will allow us to safely serve the traveling public and offer some desperately needed hospitality and good times during this challenging time. Tonight, please sit back, relax, and enjoy our program. It is my pleasure to welcome CVB board member Robert Simonelli, partner and general manager of the Landing Restaurant in Marblehead, who will start this meeting off with some delicious local cocktails.
Hello CVB members, this is Robert Simonelli from the Landing Restaurant in Marblehead and a proud CVB board member. You know, tonight we're going to kick off the annual meeting and we're going to start by making a couple of drinks, and we're featuring Ryan and Wood vodka and Ryan and Wood rum, and you've all received the recipes and we're going to make these in just a moment. You know, in the spirit of keeping it local, I'd also like to remind you about Ipswich Ale, the Russell Orchards, the 1634 Meadery, and those are all located in Ipswich, Mass. We also have the Cider Hill Farm in Amesbury, the Gentilly Brewery in Beverly, and the Tap in Haverhill. You know what? Let's begin with this. Grab your ingredients. Let's make a couple of cocktails and enjoy the evening. Okay, so you have your ingredients, and the first drink we're going to do tonight is a North Shore Mule. I'm trying to keep this really simple for everyone. So you grab your ginger beer, open up, nice sights and sounds. Look at that. Sounds like the North Shore, doesn't it? Get your ginger beer in there, and then you want to have your vodka. Get a healthy amount in there. Well, we'll make it legit. Maybe a little more just because. And on the North Shore, we just want to kick it up a bit. We're going to use a little molasses bitters. You know, it's a great flavor. It's added. If you don't have it at home, just use a little bit of molasses syrup, some pancake syrup, but give that a splash in there, maybe 2 or 3. All right. So you get a nice coloration. You got to mix that up. Refreshing as it gets on the North Shore. So our next cocktail, we're going to go down on the farm. We got Bob Ryan's farm here. Some Folly Cove rum. Now we've got some ice in our shaker glass. We're going to put a little rum in there. Very nice. And again, a little more. You know, you got to have some fun with it. And we're going to use this wonderful cider from Ipswich. Look at that, Russell Orchards. That's a beauty, fresh. Get a good amount in there. Don't worry if you make extra. Somebody will drink it, right? We'll get that going. Now what I do, just a little topping on this, I add a little bit of cherry bitters. I know I'm bitter crazy, but I'm not bitter. But this is good flavor right here. If you don't have this, if you have some maraschino cherry juice or something at home, use that. But I put a couple of dashes in there, maybe 4 or 5. Gives that a little bit of a sweetness. So we're gonna stir that up. I don't have my other thing here. Give it a quick shake, that's all you need. Separate that out. Get her in there. I wish we had slow-mo on that. You could see that beautiful. That's good. I can't wait to taste it. All right, down on the farm, get your Bob Ryan's rum. Suit up. Delicious. All right, enjoy everybody. Cheers, and let's get this show started.
Thank you for getting our meeting started, Robert. My name is Jen Close. I'm the Associate Director of Advertising and Promotion at the Peabody Essex Museum, as well as the Director of Guest Experience. This is a bittersweet evening for me. It has been my pleasure to serve as the chair of the North of Boston Convention and Visitors Bureau for the last 2 years, and I am truly grateful for the support of my colleagues and friends who serve on the board of directors with me, and for the great work that the CVB staff continues to do, facing any and all challenges head on. Before I speak about the CVB's recent efforts, I would like to take a moment to recognize a colleague and former chair of the CVB who has recently passed, Bill Piercy. Our hearts go out to his family and friends, and he will be missed by many. In honor of Bill's contributions to the CVB, we will be donating funds in his name to the Amesbury Little League. Prior to the pandemic onset, the North of Boston CVB was experiencing significant growth, cultivating and attracting visitor segments in all areas: short and long haul domestic, groups, meetings, weddings, and international travel. Since March, our target markets and messaging have changed, but we have not stopped marketing for you. And some of our efforts include updating northofboston.org with adjusted business services page and adding health and safety guidance to every member listing. Releasing our 2020 North of Boston Destination Guide and Group Travel Planner, concentrating distribution in our New England and Mid-Atlantic drive market. Targeting the domestic short-haul drive market, which includes New England and low-risk transmission states like New York and New Jersey. The CVB has maintained continuous SEO Google paid search, Google display, Facebook display, and all to drive traffic to our website. Up until March, we were experiencing a 37% increase in visitation and are only down a modest 10% at this time. We are confident that our responsible marketing will enable us to close the gap and exceed 2019 numbers in early 2021. Our efforts also include developing a region-wide interactive and print mural map highlighting all the areas of the region with more than 100 beautiful murals that exemplify the diverse cultural heritage within our region. Doubling down our social media efforts, creating and sharing member news and adjusted services. Collaborating with the Massachusetts Regional Tourism Council on a 3-month in-state billboard campaign that ran from July through September, and working with the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism to promote the My Local MA campaign, which encourages Massachusetts residents to spend their money locally. To complement this Keep It Local effort, the CVB also ran radio spots on 104.9 FM and 92.5 FM from July into September. Additionally, I would like to mention that due to responsible fiscal governance by the Board of Directors and our Executive Director, Anne-Marie Casey, the CVB has maintained all staff this year. The Visitor Center has been up and running since early June with extensive health and safety protocols in place. And although we are not seeing the numbers that we usually see, we are still serving thousands of travelers. I am proud of our accomplishments, and I hope that you are too. Before I turn the reins over to my esteemed colleague and friend Tammy O'Brien from Encompass Premiums and Apparel in Newburyport, I want to thank all of our members, state and municipal partners, and industry colleagues. And I would like to thank the North of Boston CVB staff all by name. They are the team behind our successes, and they are the team that will guide us into a better future. Anne-Marie Casey, Executive Director. Rebecca Shackford, Communication and Sales Coordinator. Holly Perry, Project Coordinator. Julie Cook, PR Consultant. Carol Susi, Bookkeeper. and our Visitor Center Information Specialists, which include Bruce Dean, Madeline Gray, Gerald Lynch, Christine Nicholas, Dan Phillips, Andrea True, Ray Whitley, Mark Zoglio, Les Childs, and Charla Holt. And before I formally pass the baton to Tammy, I'd like to thank my family. They stand behind every crazy adventure that I agree to be part of. They attend events, are models in photo shoots, and so much more. To my husband Tokala and son Morgan, thank you. To my mom Jane, who worked at our Salisbury Visitor Center for many years, thanks for always being there and standing up for me in everything that we do. I'd also like to thank Pem for allowing me to take time to be part of this amazing organization. It really is an honor to work with all of you, and it has been my most sincere pleasure to have been your chair. And I'll continue to support the CVB's efforts as we move forward together. Now please, welcome your new chair, Tammy O'Brien.
Thank you, Jen, and thank you to everyone who's joining us this evening. Your support and passion for the North of Boston region is what makes our region such a desirable place to live, work, and visit. My name is Tammy O'Brien, and I'm the proprietor of Encompass Premiums and Apparel in Newburyport. I'm happy to assume the chair position of the North of Boston CVB, and I'm fortunate to have John Orlando, proprietor of the Harborview Inn in Gloucester, serving as my vice chair. Jen has discussed how the CVB has pivoted and changed messaging to adapt to these ever-changing times. I'd like to take a few moments to talk about how you, our members, have adjusted your services and offerings, and on behalf of the Board of Directors of the North of Boston CVB, we commend you and we stand beside you. So much has changed over these past 8 months, and I'm sure that, like me, you never thought we'd be where we are today. Businesses that have reopened and are operating in the new normal all over the country and the world are experiencing the ultimate challenge. The preparation, health, and safety of staff and guests, high operational costs, and capacity limits, and many other barriers all need to be addressed constantly. For the tourism industry, this challenge has been even more of a struggle, and as a human-to-human industry, all of you have had to make hard decisions and be even more creative than any of us thought possible. To our lodging properties, restaurants, museums, attractions, farms, breweries, wineries, distilleries, wedding and meeting venues, performing arts and cultural institutions, historic sites, transportation, retail, education, destination marketing organizations, and chambers of commerce, we know this hasn't been easy, and the CVB is here to help. Some of our future marketing plans include continuing our aggressive SEO, Google display, and Facebook display to drive traffic to our website. We are concluding a hyper-local digital campaign with an MNI targeted media attracting Massachusetts and Southern New Hampshire travelers. We are in the process of negotiating a digital buy with Yankee New England today to drive holiday shopping and visitation in the region. Knowing that the lodging, weddings, meetings, and performing arts subsectors of our industry are experiencing severe challenges due to the very nature of their business, the CVB is also working on the following initiatives. We are negotiating with Expedia to launch a CVB-supported digital campaign to drive bookings for our lodging properties. We're working on the development of a new wedding section of our website and are planning to attend the American Consumer Show's Bridal Expo in January. We're pitching a media story to feature all of the performing art venues in our membership. We continue to cultivate our relationship with the meetings, group tour, and international markets, and are planning to attend the following trade shows in 2021, if health data allows: Discover New England Summit, American Bus Association, Marketplace, and the U.S. Travel Association, IPW. To conclude my remarks about future CVB programs, I want to let you know that we remain committed to our tourism mini-grant program. As of right now, the CVB has received 25% of the state grant allocation for fiscal year 21. With the support of the administration and legislature, we are optimistic that we will be fully funded in the near future so we can implement our tourism recovery plan in its entirety. Over the last 7 years, the CVB has awarded close to $300,000 in matching grants to chambers, DMOs, and nonprofit organizations throughout Essex County to assist with tourism promotion projects that include print, web development, blogging, digital, TV, YouTube, audio messaging, radio, social media projects, language translations, and signage for tourism-related businesses. In fiscal year 2020, We were able to allocate a total of $44,000 to this program. In the spring, our partners worked with us remotely on these important projects, and in many cases, they could not be completed without this critical funding. It's our intention to keep this healthy pool of funds available for projects in spring 2021, when we know that it will be needed the most. Please look out for the grant application announcement, which will be coming out shortly. In the meantime, congratulations to our 2020 Tourism Mini Grant recipients. Haunted Happenings 2019, Topsfield Fair 2019, Amesbury Chamber of Commerce, the Cape Ann Chamber of Commerce, Cape Ann Chamber of Commerce Rockport Division, Destination Salem, Discover Gloucester, Essex National Heritage Commission, Greater Haverhill Chamber of Commerce, Greater Newburyport Chamber of Commerce, Marblehead Chamber of Commerce, Marblehead Museum, and the House of the Seven Gables. In conclusion, the CVB is committed to working through this time with you, and we strive to drive safe and healthy business to your doors. On behalf of the North of Boston CVB Board of Directors, we thank all of our investing members and industry partners throughout the state and look forward to distancing ourselves from this pandemic in the near future. In the spirit of partnership, it is my pleasure to welcome Executive Director Keiko Oral from the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism to say a few words.
Hello, North of Boston Tourism Partners. My name is Keiko Matsudo Oral, and I am honored to serve as the Executive Director of the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. I wish I could be with you personally, but want to take this opportunity to be with you virtually and thank Anne-Marie Casey and the board for inviting me to participate in this forum. On behalf of the Baker-Polito administration, we want to commend you for your efforts to work together, to stay strong, and to stand strong in this challenging and uncertain time. To that end, our office has launched a campaign to support local small businesses. It's called My Local MA. It encourages Massachusetts residents to buy, stay, and eat locally. Now more than ever, our small businesses need our help, and we as Massachusetts residents need to put our money where our heart is, right here in Massachusetts. We are excited about this opportunity to partner with groups across the Commonwealth, our regional tourism councils, our chambers of commerce, our business improvement districts, our main streets, and we thank them for their support. We need their support, and we need your support. Our office stands as a resource for you. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time. We want to wish you a healthy and safe remainder of 2020, and I look forward to visiting the North of Boston soon.
Thank you for joining us this evening, Keiko. On behalf of the North of Boston RTC and all the state's regional tourism councils, you have been a very supportive partner and friend to the tourism industry in the Commonwealth. We are lucky to have you at the helm of MOT. Before we induct the 2020-2021 North of Boston Board of Directors, I would like to thank two departing board members for their service. Thank you to Matt Anzavino, Rockport Inn and Suites in Rockport. Thank you to Heather Daigle of the Cape Ann Marina Resort in Gloucester. As the Executive Director of the North of Boston CVB, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to your new slate of officers and directors for 2020-2021. All of these leaders offer their time and financial support to our organization, and they work collaboratively to represent all of our members and industry segments throughout the region. Our officers: Tammy O'Brien, Chair, Encompass Premiums and Apparel in Newburyport. John Orlando, Vice Chair, the Harborview Inn in Gloucester. James O'Brien, Treasurer, Topsfield Fair in Topsfield. Bethany Groff Durow, Secretary, Historic New England, Spencer Pierce Little Farm in Newbury. Karen Nassambeni, Executive Board at Large, North Shore Music Theater in Beverly. Tara Bassett, Executive Board at Large, Boston Marriott Peabody. Jennifer Close, Immediate Past Chair, Peabody Essex Museum in Salem. And for the board, Joe Bevilacqua, Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce in Lawrence. Lynn Blangiardi, Hampton Inn and Homewood Suites by Hilton, Boston, Peabody. Sarah Boucher, Bramble Hospitality, Willowdale Estate in Topsfield, and Briar Barn Inn in Rowley. Joe Broderick, Montserrat College of Art in Beverly. Elizabeth Carey, Discover Gloucester. Kate Fox, Destination Salem. Mayor Cassandra Gove, the City of Amesbury. Jean Hennessy, Beauport Hospitality Group in Gloucester. Ann Ormond, Town of Andover. Gia Page, Davios of Linfield. Robert Simonelli, The Landing Restaurant in Marblehead. Mary Ward, Salem Witch Museum in Salem. And I'm very pleased to welcome 4 new directors to the CVB board this year. Michelle Campbell of Endicott College in Beverly. Tobin Dominic, Cape Ann's Marina Resort and Mile Marker 1 Waterfront Restaurant in Gloucester. Kate Martin, Greater Haverhill Chamber of Commerce in Haverhill. And Danica Thurston, Lynn Museum, Lynn Arts in Lynn. Congratulations to your new board. On a personal note, I would like to thank Jen Close for her leadership these past 2 years. She's been a dedicated and responsive chair and has been great to me and my team. We will all miss you serving as our chair, but we're glad that you'll be continuing your service on the executive board. To our new chair, Tammy O'Brien, and our new vice chair, John Orlando, thank you both so much for taking the helm. We're lucky to have great leaders like the two of you to help guide us through any challenges that lie ahead. Before we move on to the special recognition segment of our program, I'd like you to turn your attention to this year's outgoing chair gift presentation. We recently filmed it at Montserrat College of Art in Beverly, and we thank CVB board member Jo Broderick for her facilitation.
Hi, we are here at the Montserrat College of Art today to say thank you to Jen Close for her 2 years of leadership as our chair on the board of directors of the CVB. And thank you for Joe's help in facilitating our artist Sarah Gilbert in creating a painting for Jen as her party gift. Sarah, would you like to do the unveiling? Oh my gosh! and who is this?
Ollie was our first chicken that we got. She came with a rooster. We no longer have the rooster, but we still have sweet Ollie. I think we've had her for 4 years now. So she's the leader of our hen house. So thank you so much, Sarah. This is beautiful. Thank all of you. I wish I could hug you all. We're not allowed to do that, but thank you so much.
Great work, Sarah. Yeah, and you want to hear a little bit about Sarah,
Yeah,
our artist?
So my name's Sarah Gilbert. I'm a senior at Montserrat, and I'm really glad to have done this portrait for North of Boston Convention and Visitors Bureau. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
And thank you, Joe.
You're welcome. Yes, thank you.
Typically, our annual meeting includes an award presentation. However, this year has been anything but typical. On behalf of the board of directors, we want to thank all of you that submitted nominations this year for our traditional awards. It was decided that we would save many of those nominations for next year, and that this year we would honor some extraordinary people that are uniquely deserving of special recognition at this particular point in time. We would like to begin this segment by recognizing and thanking the Massachusetts Department of Transportation District 4. They are our partners that help us maintain and manage the Maria Miles Visitor Center on I-95 southbound in Salisbury. The team at DOT was instrumental in preparing the center to open in early June. The COVID control plan that they devised with us was comprehensive and creative, and our template assisted other visitor centers throughout the state with their reopenings. We would especially like to thank the following individuals who have consistently gone above and beyond the call of duty: Peter Collette, Brett Lucien, Courtney Sellerud, Christopher Dighton, Joe Wilkins, Larry Glazebrook, and George Aramo. On behalf of the North of Boston CVB Board of Directors, we thank you all for your continued partnership and for sharing our commitment to providing a safe and clean facility for the traveling public as they enter into Massachusetts. At this time, I would like to recognize a long-standing CVB member who has served our organization in a variety of leadership capacities over the years, Helen Medler, President of Hawthorne Tours based out of Salem. For the past 27 years, Helen has been actively involved in all of the CVB's programs and events. She has served on the board of directors and on various committees, and she's also been a consistent sponsor of signature events like the Tourism Summit. Helen has been one of the best ambassadors for the North of Boston region, and it always made me proud to see her at trade shows and conferences all over the country. As a receptive tour operator for North of Boston, Greater Boston, New York, and Washington, D.C., Helen and her team have worked with countless tour operators, school groups, corporate and meeting professionals, senior travelers, and civic organizations. Always the first one to partner with fellow CVB members, Helen's extensive experience has benefited us all. Thank you, Helen, for everything you've done for us, and please expect calls from me just to say hello and to continue to ask for your professional advice. Helen has prepared some remarks for you all.
Hello, North of Boston friends. Although we cannot be in the same room this evening, I hope that I can convey to you everyone how much I appreciate this recognition this evening by my North of Boston family. Thank you to our Executive Director, Anne-Marie Casey, Board Chair Jen Close, Incoming Chair Tammy O'Brien, and the entire North of Boston CVB. It is hard to put into words the impact that my membership with North of Boston has had on my business, Hawthorne Tours. Success in any field is built on partnerships and trust, and I have been so fortunate to not only have formed business partnerships, but also to have gained some terrific friends along the way. The opportunities presented to me as a member of North of Boston CVB were many over the past 27 years. Serving on the board and many committees and participating in fam tours for fellow tour operators all helped my small company to grow and thrive. My sincere and heartfelt thanks to the entire membership for your advice, support, and friendship over these years. Much has changed this year, but here is what will never change. We will continue to have a story in every mile. Our rich history cannot be denied. The incredible beauty of our region will never change. How fortunate we are to call this our home. But mostly, what will never change is the passion and commitment that each of you has for our region. You are the leaders that will bring real change to this economic engine. So stay strong. We are fortunate to have a leader like Anne-Marie Casey, who works tirelessly for our continued funding and recovery. Thank you, Anne-Marie. It has been so great to work with you and the entire team. Thank you to everyone. God bless.
Thank you for that beautiful message, Helen, and thank you for your support and friendship. The next special person we would like to recognize this evening is another long-standing CVB member, Barry Pollock. Barry has worked with so many of us over the years as our trusted friend and printing partner. Honestly, I've never known a North of Boston CVB that didn't include Barry. His involvement with the CVB spans decades. He served on the board of directors for many years, and even when things were tough, he never left our side. He helped to rebuild our organization into the strong entity it is today. And on behalf of the staff and board of directors, we can't thank him enough. Currently working with Daily Printing in Beverly Farms, Barry continues to be our Tourism Summit printing sponsor, and he just recently printed our beautiful mural maps. And not only did he print them for us in April, the height of the pandemic, he also made a special trip to drive them out to my house in Wilmington so I could see them before the visitor center opened. After not seeing many people, it was so heartwarming to see Barry, and I know he was smiling under that mask. You are exceptional, Barry, and we are all fortunate to know and work with you. Barry has asked me to read a letter that he's written to all of you tonight, and I'm honored to do so. I just want you all to know that he kindly references me in this letter, and these are his exact words. I don't want you to think that I'm talking about myself, at least not this time anyway. Here is his letter. Good evening to you all at the first virtual annual meeting. I am deeply humbled to be recognized for my commitment to the CVB. First of all, it should be me thanking all of you for these great years of participation. It was pointed out that I've been here quite a while. I guess thinking back, I first joined the North of Boston CVB when it had a tiny office in the back of a department store in Beverly. I think the director was John Lawton. My memory is a bit cloudy on that, so I guess it was a long time. That said, what I gained from being around so many great and committed people has made me what I am as a salesman, and a person can't be measured. I am truly grateful for the experience. Thank you everyone at the CVB, especially you, Anne-Marie. What you have accomplished is extraordinary. We came from a very dark place to the envy of all tourism bureaus. I also want to say to Tammy O'Brien how proud I am of you. You came in like most of us, and you have risen up to meet the challenge and will take over for Jen. That says it all about the North of Boston CVB. If you want to grow in person and business, follow the lead from so many that came in and gave their best. So I say thank you from the bottom of my heart to all of you who make the North of Boston Convention and Visitors Bureau the success that it has become. Peace to you all. Barry Pollock. To conclude our program, we would like to recognize and honor one of the strongest, kindest, and talented people that many of us know. CVB Executive Board Member Karen Nassim-Benny, General Manager of the North Shore Music Theater in Beverly. Karen has experienced the unimaginable this year, and in addition to sending Karen our love and support, the North of Boston CVB has donated $1,000 to the Stephen T. Richard Memorial Photography Scholarship Fund to honor her husband Stephen's memory. In true brave and selfless Karen fashion, she has sent us a video message to share with all of you. Before you watch it, I want to thank you all for joining us this evening. Normally, I would offer closing remarks after this. However, once you see and hear Karen, you'll know that there is just nothing left for me to say. She says it all beautifully. Thank you for sharing yourself with us, Karen, and thank you to all of our members for your support and partnership. We are proud to stand with you.
Hello, darlings. Thank you for honoring me tonight and for your acknowledgement of my 8-month journey with my battle with COVID-19, as well as the unimaginable loss of my beloved husband, Stephen Richard, who so many of you knew and loved, my father-in-law, Earl, and my dear friend, Don Kelly. I want to thank the North of Boston CVB for their generous contribution to the Stephen Richard Memorial Photography Scholarship Fund. I'm excited to share that one of our fellow members, Montserrat College of Art, will be the largest recipient of those funds. I want you all to know that your kindness and support have been deeply felt. Our fearless leader, Anne-Marie, and so many of you stayed in constant contact with me throughout this ordeal. Our beloved outgoing board chair, Jen Close, regularly brought me farm-fresh eggs, which made the most delicious frittatas. This was all part of my occupational therapy and made me smile each time I was making them. Many of you have heard my stories about the horrific COVID hallucinations I had while I was in a coma in the ICU. In one of the worst nightmares, when I was delusional with paranoia and scared for my life, I remember dreaming that I called Ray Johnston at the Beauport Hotel to ask him if he could hide me in one of his rooms. That's how much I love that property and clearly feel incredibly safe there. In another tough moment, I felt myself slipping away. I remember so clearly seeing Mayor Safathia's arm reach out and grab my hand, pulling me back. She wasn't going to let me give up. These are the comforts I felt from my tourism partners in my darkest hours. These past 8 months have been devastating for so many of our businesses, but what I know about people in our industry, both on a conscious and now subconscious level, is that we are strong, we are determined, and we are resilient. It's going to take some time, but I know in my heart that we will be back stronger than ever. I know we will all face the future together with a new appreciation for what we almost lost and for how precious and important the tourism industry is to people's lives. On behalf of my family and Stephen's family, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being there for us. I would not be here speaking to all of you tonight without the benefit of your prayers, support, and love. I admire and treasure you all so much. Thank you.